Still with Midday Live. Good afternoon. Top stories for this afternoon. Legal luminary Justice VCRAC Crab is challenging any person with evidence to prove corruption claims in the Superior Court. And in some more news this afternoon, 115 cardinals start process in Rome to elect a new pope with no clear front runner to take over as head of the Roman Catholic Church. My name is Wendy Lai. Do stay with me for the details of these stories and many others lined up for Midday Live. Not too good news here this morning, or it happened this morning, but as of this afternoon, fire had gutted the second floor of the Abnatia Towers at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle Tuesday morning. Personnel from the fire service headquarters reportedly responded promptly to distress calls and managed to contain the fire within only the affected rooms in the floor. Using turntable ladders, the firefighters got easy access to the floor from outside the building. Firemen later had to break the locked doors to gain and have access to fight the fire from within. Computers and other office equipment were completely destroyed in affected offices and lecture halls. The cause of the fire in the floor occupied by the NIIT's academic city was not immediately known. Security men on duty were tight-lipped. However, electrical fault was strongly suspected. Both the fire and police service have begun immediate investigations. Still watching Midday Live. Away from that story, we move straight to health, and the National Health Insurance card bearers were on Monday turned away as the owed 50 million cedis from the NIIT for services rendered. The association said the National Health Insurance Authority owed its members over 50 million Ghana cedis as at January 31, 2013. The source are the Christian Health Association of Ghana told TV3 some monies have been paid to them. But we move straight to the Ashanti region, where I do have Benjamin Edu, a correspondent, and he is at the SDA hospital in Kumasi to give us an update on what really is happening there. Hello, Benjamin.
Hello, Wendy.
Now, are NHIS card bearers still being turned away from the hospital?
Wendy, one thing I know for sure is that the issue is still the same as you reported from Kumasi yesterday. NHIS card holders are still not being allowed to access quality health care at the Kwadaso SDA hospital. But when I came in this morning, authorities at the hospital are demand remorse in town that they have suspended this action started yesterday. And they are saying, even though they have been in discussion with the Ministry of Health and Finance as to how to, they will be reach a congress for them to make the payment for them. They are so, the answer that they started yesterday is still in progress, and there is no way that they have, until the Ministry of Health and then the Ministry of Finance made the full payment from September to December. They're still going to be in this as well.
But did they admit that some monies have been paid to them?
According to authorities at the SDA hospital, they only receive service payments on capitation for March, but not the claim that they're supposed to receive from the NHIS.
And what is the atmosphere like at the hospital?
You know, in Ashanti region, yesterday we also visited another hospital in Kwabre district, and the issue is still the same as what is happening at the Kwadaso SDA hospital.
So their stance that do we have a lot more people moving in, like comparing it to yesterday's situation?
Even a moment ago, they announced to those people who are with the card that they are not going to accept them until they make the payment or they have money. So for now, is the issue of cash and carry service what is being practiced here at the SDA hospital. And
if you've been able to talk to those who are being turned away, what really are they saying?
They are saying is very bad on their part, because according to an old man whom I spoke to a moment ago, he said he came in yesterday and today he came and they will still not be able to access health care, and it's very disturbing, Wendy.
All right, well, thank you very much, Benjamin Edu. He is one of our correspondents in the Ashanti region and is giving us an update on the health insurance issue in the Ashanti region. And he did say that those with the cards are still being turned away from, especially looking at the SDA hospital in Kumasi. But we move on to some other stories. One of our headline stories: legal luminary Justice VCRAC Crab is challenging any person with evidence to prove corruption claims in the Superior Court. While admitting corruption in the lower courts, Justice Crab told Komla Kluche the allegations against the judiciary were speculations.
Corruption is in the society. So if the society is corrupt, that's what's going to happen. When we talk about corruption of other people, do we examine our own consciences and ask ourselves how far we have contributed to what we call corruption in our society? It's not peculiar to the bench. You have it in Parliament, you have it in the executive, you have it in our society. As far as I'm concerned, the higher hierarchy of the judiciary is not corrupt. Corruption in the judiciary, as far as I know, is limited to the lower ranks. When you go to the registry to file a complaint and then lawyers give them money and that type of thing. I challenge anybody to tell me to name one Supreme Court judge who is corrupt. We have to realize that it's something which is in the society, and therefore don't point your finger at the judge and say he's corrupt. My mother taught me that if you do your hand like this, pointing at somebody, 3 are pointing at you. So those who accuse the judges of corruption must examine their own conscience and their own conduct, how far they have not been part of what they call corruption.
Justice Brown.
You're watching Midday Live, and we go back to our earlier story, which has to do with the National Health Insurance card bearers that were turned away on Monday because of issues that has to do with the monies owed them. And the association said the National Health Insurance Authority owed its members over 150 million Ghana cedis as of January 31, 2013. The source at the Christian Health Association of Ghana has told TV3 some monies have been paid to them. We did speak to one of our reporters, and he gave us a view at the SDA hospital in Kumasi. We're going back to Kumasi, where we have one of our reporters again, Ibrahim Abubakar, to tell us the situation at some of the hospitals he visited this morning. Hello, Ibrahim.
Hello, Wendy.
Now, where have you been to this morning?
Well, this morning I went back to the Anika Methodist Faith Healing Hospital and the St. Michael Hospital at Plateau. And I must say the situation is the same as yesterday. The hospital has withdrawn its service. It's not providing any service to NHIS card holders because it says the money has not been reflected in their account, because they are telling us that there have been instances where the hospital receives letters from the NHI indicating that monies have been paid in their hospital's account, but they go and check and later get back disappointed because the monies do not reflect in their account. So they are telling us that until the money is reflected in their account, they are not calling off the withdrawal of the NHI service. And I must say, these missionary hospitals in Ashanti region, for instance, most of the missionary hospitals are located in the remotest areas of the Ashanti region. And looking at Ankasi, for instance, the Methodist Faith Healing Hospital is the only health facility in the community, serving about 10 surrounding communities. So this situation is affecting healthcare because they don't have anywhere to go. If they want to access healthcare now with their NHS, they either have to travel all the way to Kumasi or Mamponting Government Hospital before they can access it.
When I did speak to Benjamin Edu early on, he did say that those with the cards are still being turned away as of this morning. Looking at the two hospitals that you've been to and comparing the situation to Monday's, is there really a difference, or it's still the same old thing? Come with your cards, move away. It's either you have your money or you will not be attended to.
Well, like I said, they are not taking any cuts. Those have seen.
As in, there's no consideration at all. I know you said that they are being turned away, but isn't there any consideration at all? Because you cited that one of the hospitals, which is Ankasi, is the only hospital at that very area where you visited. Isn't there any consideration at all?
No, there is no form of consideration, because the authorities are saying until they stand firm on the ground, the government will not hit their flight, because this has been happening for so long. Anybody who has to come there with his or her money to pay. I met a woman who came there, and her son has already been admitted, and today they issue a receipt to pay 70 Ghana cedis. The woman was crying because she said she has no money on her. But then, like I said, the hospital is not considering anybody. If you come with your NHIS card, you'll be turned away.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar. And he was also giving us an update on the national health insurance issue. And he did visit two hospitals, which is the Ankasi Methodist Faith Healing Hospital and the St. Michael Hospital. And he says the situation is still the same. More on health this afternoon. Advocacy groups, ARC Foundation and Basic Needs are pushing for the speedy passage of the legislative instrument for the full implementation of the Mental Health Act. Well, they're also asking government to immediately constitute a mental health board to oversee the welfare of mentally challenged persons in the country.
The Mental Health Bill was passed by Parliament after years of advocacy. But after passage, several provisions have not been adhered to. An objective of the law is to depart from the residential system of psychiatric care and ensure a community-based care through specialized regional and district centers across the country. Issues of reintegration and resettlement of mental patients have also not been addressed. A mental health board to oversee the welfare of mentally challenged persons is yet to be set up.
A mental health board is supposed to be set up. This is something that should have been done, some months ago. The issue about prayer camps, regularizing prayer camps so that people there are not abused and subjected to all kinds of inhuman conditions. My experience with legislative instruments, it takes a long time, and often if civil society does not step into the process, it delays unduly and it makes certain parts of the Parent Act inoperable.
Mental health advocates have meanwhile undergone a training workshop to sharpen their advocacy skills.
This is Midday Live with me, Wendy Lai. The Foreign Affairs Minister, Hannah Tete, has urged the private sector to reposition itself as the engine of growth. She believes the move will unlock potentials and create more business opportunities in the country. The Foreign Affairs Minister was speaking at the launch of the Commonwealth Week in Accra. The theme for this year's celebration is opportunity through enterprise.
And the theme, no doubt, underscores the reality of the fact that creating opportunity through enterprise is key to creating new products and services, growing businesses, improving livelihoods, and unlocking the potential of men and women from all walks of life, whether in small rural communities or in larger towns and cities.
She charged the private sector to complement government's effort in developing the economy. She spoke about government interventions to support the growth of the private sector.
So we've got the Private Sector Development Strategy Phase 2. We've got the Rural Enterprises Program, both of which are being run by the Ministry of Trade. We've got the Local Enterprises and Skills Development Program, LESDEP, which is run by the Ministry of Local Government. And we've done all of these as initiatives to build entrepreneurial capacity across the length and breadth of our country in every district. And most recently, the intervention that we have established aimed at inculcating the spirit of entrepreneurship in the youth is the Youth Enterprises Development Fund.
The Minister of Environment, Science and Technology says government will create more biodegradable companies to generate revenue. Dr. Joe Otinyeje says that revenue would assist in expanding infrastructure and other sectors of the economy. He was interacting with staff of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research in Accra.
And we're saying that the only way that economy can grow is to move beyond what we normally do and now begin to do research work, begin to create innovative ideas, begin to take the basic technology that we have and just twist it a little bit so that we can maximize the benefit of these kind of technologies for the people of Ghana.
The sector minister, Dr. Joe Otinyeje, spoke about plans to assist the various institutions to market their research work for revenue generation. He called for cooperation and dialogue to address challenges in the field of research.
We need to not the easiest tool to achieve what you want. Let's logically use our brains to meet the fair wages man and get him to understand that we deserve this. If we use demonstrations, soon the little goodwill we have with other people may go away. You may have a higher salary, but you may not get the tools needed to work, and that can be very frustrating.
The Director General of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Dr. Abdullahi Baba Salifu, bemoaned insufficient funding for research work.
Issues of the land that we occupy across the country, you realize a lot of them were done through leases. A lot of those leases have expired. We need some quantity of money to be able to pay for the renewal of those leases.
Now to politics. And a group loyal to the New Patriotic Party has congratulated Nana Akufo-Addo for his display of maturity after the declaration of results for the 2012 general elections. The leader of the group, Kwesi Agyemang-Busia, says Nana Addo's 40-year record in public service is incredible.
Kwesi Agyemang-Busia debunked the negative perceptions held against Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Without his intervention, the streets of our country could be filled with anguish. There could have been strife, mayhem, bloodshed in our cities, tension and insecurity in our villages, and those lucky to be alive and uninjured would have been attending funerals without end. It is therefore a tortuous logic to describe who has spent a lifetime in promoting peace and democracy and has consistently made a choice for peace and constitutional means for dispute resolution as not opposed to violence. Nana Addo has continuously used his law office to champion the cause of human rights, rule of law, justice, and the protection of freedoms, recognizing the worth of the human personality and the need for peace.
Before we go for what you think, on our Facebook page, we've been asking you what you make of the president's ministerial reshuffle. And Gloria Boafo says that highly unprecedented. Samuel Addo Oche says that too fast. Emmanuel asks that the reshuffle is good, but the president should have waited for a while. Kwabena Bright Maoli says good enough. And then some more comments here. Nelson Ama says that he thinks it's not needed, but probably the president knows why. Today, what do you think is focusing on the ministerial reshuffle? Today, what do you think? We're asking you, what do you make of the president's reshuffling regional ministers? What do you think?
It's necessary to bring changes sometimes in our life so that we can also scrutinize other avenues and other opportunities and the knowledge that other people also have, which will contribute to the development of the country.
I'm sure they were capable, or they are capable. That's why the president has elected them or pushed them to that position. So they will learn on the job and they might even perform. So I think it's a good thing.
The president hasn't settled yet. So I think the first ministers that he chose should be allowed to settle and put things together before he's reshuffled. I think the government should look at it.
You have to reshuffle your managers and send them to another place so that you may know their performances. So if government had taken that decision, I think it's a good decision. Although they are new, I mean, they can do something. Actually, we may not know how possible they can do their work, but it's good you change them and know how other people can do their business.
And the Minister for Information and Media Relations, Mahama Ayariga, has been explaining the rationale behind the ministerial reshuffle effected by the President.
Last night, His Excellency the President announced a reshuffle of regional ministers. We've had every single minister reshuffled to another region. Number one, President has the power and the constitutional authority and mandate to do what he has done. So there's no dispute about whether or not he can do it. So two, we are a unitary state. And as a unitary state, we should be able to move everybody from everywhere to everywhere and task that person to deliver. And so it should be a simple question of competence and capability, and not whether you come from the region or not. And lastly, historically, I have known that in all the instances where we have sent people to go and head regions that they don't hail from, their record there has been very impressive. Why? Because when they get there, first, they are not aligned to any ethnic group in that place. Secondly, they are not aligned to any political faction in that place. Thirdly, they are open to everybody because they don't know everybody, so they are open to everybody who comes. They don't view people with a political lens. And so they end up being open, being fair, being transparent, being focused in terms of the work that they do, and overall their productivity is often much, much better than those who get distracted by all these negative tendencies that I have outlined.
Away from that story, Minister in charge of Depot Branch of Police Interdenominational Church, Reverend Chief Inspector General Samuel Queen, has intimated challenges facing the country would have been avoided if people in leadership position work with principles. He was speaking at the annual Thanksgiving and dedication of a gallery by the Police Wives Association in Accra.
The Police Wives Association, until recently merely existed in name. The immediate past president, Regina Teriakwe, since assuming office, has revived the association by introducing the zonal concept. She also initiated various self-help projects, including skills training that saw many members involved in several artifacts who are hooked onto the Maslow loan scheme. The association within the 3 years has also supported the police hospital with a modern delivery bed. The third annual Thanksgiving service at the Police Training School branch of the Police Interdenominational Church was dedicated to Regina Teriakwe for her role in reviving POA. The service also coincided with the handing over of the refurbished church gallery donated by the Regina-led POA.
If you humble yourself before the Spirit of God, He will give you an assignment, and just after fulfilling that assignment, then the darkness shall be off.
The immediate past POA president, Regina Teriakwe, urged women, especially wives, to eschew petty squabbles to help build a strong society.
More on the police, but not on their wives this time around. The Odoko District Police are seeking public support in tracing a 19-year-old student of St. Martha's Secondary School at Adweju in Sarum, and is in the person of Nanekria Bamfo. Nanekria reportedly left school in her school uniform on Friday, February 22, but has since not returned. According to her family, all efforts to trace her whereabouts have failed. Nanekria Bamfo is chocolate in color and stands at about 5 feet 3 inches tall. Anyone who sees Nanekria Bamfo or knows her whereabouts should kindly contact the Odoko Police or the nearest police station. And they can also please call this line, which is 0244 366 264. The number again is 0244 366 264, 0244 366 264 for any information. Elsewhere, pupils of St. Monica's Junior High School in Cape Coast have donated an amount of 200 Ghana cedis to the Ghana Heart Foundation of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The pupils aged between 11 and 15 years initiated this gesture as part of an educational visit to the Parliament House in Accra. The headmistress, Philomena Sampson, on behalf of pupils and staff of the school, presented the donation to TV3. She urged benevolent organizations and individuals to donate towards charitable causes. We go back to more on the National Health Insurance Authority, and the authority in a release says that it has noted the Mission Health facilities, being members of the Christian Association of Ghana, have suspended services to NHIS card holders. A statement issued by the Strategy and Corporate Affairs Division of the National Health Insurance Authority said the authority regrets this development and wishes to assure its subscribers and the general public that it is engaging with the service providers, including the leadership of the Christian Health Association of Ghana, to settle outstanding issues affecting service providers to ensure uninterrupted health service delivery. While efforts are being made to resolve these issues as quickly as possible, the NHI entreats subscribers in need of health care who are being asked to pay cash for health services to visit the nearest government health facility or other service providers with NHIS cards for any medical attention they may require under the NHIS. The statement added it is their understanding the emergencies and delivery related cases are not affected by the decision taken by the association to suspend services.